possible, and given us the right to come together this evening. We ask, Father, you bless this body and these that come tonight, and they may make decisions that are wise in thy sight and for the betterment of our community. We ask thy guidance and thy care. This we pray in Christ's name.
This is a public hearing, and we've set aside 30 minutes for this public hearing, and with that, I assume there's some people here that would like to make comments in regards to it, in regards to us not using the certified tax rate. Is there anyone that would like to address the legislative body? If you do, raise your hand, and we'll do it in an orderly fashion. Anybody?
Hello, my name is Curry Moore. First of all, I'd like to say I appreciate this time to speak. I appreciate this time to come to the court. I have many friends, many people I respect, teachers, friends, members of the same organizations in here, and I respect this and this court. First of all, I'm against taxes of any kind, but I understand that taxes have to be paid. I think that our hospital up here is a necessity, without a doubt. I don't want to lose our hospital. I do not want to have employees who are friends of mine go without jobs. I understand, and apparently by the showing of this crowd, this is going to be a done deal. No ifs, ands, or buts. These are my concerns. When is it going to stop? We have people that are running this, okay, that might not be qualified to run it. From what I understand, y'all went to your law firm, and the law firm started their own organization to run this. And correct me at any time if I'm wrong, please. I think that the hospital can be in a position to make money, but I think the way it's being run now, it's not going to. As a person who does not like taxes and any more taxes, again, when's it going to end? Next year, we're still going to be digging a hole that we have to turn back and raise taxes again because we're so far in debt. We have an ER up there that if it's ran the correct way, it can make money. It's been proven in other places. We have many things that can work the correct way if we're willing to do it. I guess the answer that I'm asking y'all is, what is the plan of this court that when we pay our taxes, what are we going to do to make it better? What are we going to do to assure the taxpayers, the landowners of Houston County, that we don't have to go up again on our taxes next year? What's the plan in motion to do this? Simple question. I guess the answer to the question is why. Just why. Thank you.
Well, Kurt, I'll make a comment on that. I think it's very. I think anyone that starts a new business, and that's what our hospital is. It's a new business, and it's a large business, but it's a very necessary business for this county and for the citizens of this county. To expect a new business to start from scratch, and that's what we started from, to turn a profit within a year or year and a half is unrealistic. I don't think you're going to see that anywhere. I think it takes several years for that to grow. And I can tell you right now, when we started, and I say we, I'm talking about Houston County, we started with nothing but bricks and mortar. We have acquired license, Medicare numbers. We have We have negotiated with all insurance companies, new contracts. The staff at the hospital, I can't say enough about them. They've been over backwards to try and make things work. But a year to expect it to turn over is unrealistic. The census at the hospital, though, before we took over and purchased the bricks and mortar up there, there was days that there was no one in the hospital, 1, 2 people in the hospital. That census has steadily grown. We have probably 5 or 6 in there today. I've seen as many as 10 and 11. So that census is growing, and it's growing because there's constantly being improvements done to the hospital. Some of the things that we have overcome structurally wise was when you walked in the hospital and it was raining, you better have a bucket in your hand. That problem has been fixed. Before you do a lot of other construction, you better take care of your roof. And so that's been done. And the heating and air has been replaced. And we're getting close to starting to improve the inside of the facility and make it much nicer. Because the previous owners, not just the one before this one, but the one even before that one, nobody put any money into the hospital. And so we're having to overcome a lot of that. And you've got a good board of trustees that meet, and they work with the staff at the hospital trying to make things better. And we brought in new services. Orthopedics, there's a chiropractor up there. I mean, there's new things that's bringing a sleep lab that we didn't have. So new services are going to continue to be brought in as we see fit to get those in there and see that we can afford to do that. So that's our plan, Curry. I don't think anybody wants a tax increase. But I'm going to tell you, and this is just on a personal note, my wife wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that hospital. I know that. I have a mother, I have aunts and uncles, I have a lot of friends that would not be here if we did not have that hospital. We have a beautiful county here, but it is a long, slender county. And if you live in the western end of the county, and you have to be transported to Clarksville or Dixon or Nashville, and you're serious, without that hospital, I'm afraid some of our friends are not going to be here. And so, to me, we already have an ambulance service that we subsidize. We've been subsidizing ambulance service for many years. And we do that to the tune of about $200,000 to $250,000 a year right now. So it's going to be another service that Houston County is going to provide. And we're trying our best with the staff at the hospital and with the Board of Trustees and the County Commission to work with and bring those services up to where hopefully we can get this to where it's breaking even or close to breaking even. And that's our goal. That is our goal. But it's not going to happen overnight. Okay? I hope I answered your question, Kurt. Anyone else have anything that they'd like to say?
George,
Oh,
I'd like to respond a little bit to what we're trying to do out of the hospital. The biggest thing we've had to overcome is the perception by people that live in the county that the hospital is awful. I get more comments about, I'm never going to that hospital again because so-and-so and so-and-so didn't work. One of the problems we have to overcome is people have to understand that the part of the hospital that's bricks and mortar is not just run by the hospital. There is a doctor's office over there, Hillcrest, which is a separate business. We have nothing to do with running that business. They pay us rent, and it's their decision making. So if anybody has a problem with those doctors, they blame it on the hospital. It has nothing to do with the hospital. And the same thing with the previous owners of the hospital. The emergency room was poorly run, and that had nothing to do with the actual bricks and mortars of the hospital. And so we have this perception by the people in the county that the hospital isn't any good. but it's just the complete opposite. I mean, I've been at the emergency room here in the last year, and people have driven down here from Clarksville to come to our emergency room because they couldn't get in or they didn't like the service at the gate. So the biggest thing that we need to do is to have you people, our citizens, use the hospital. We have Doppler, we have x-rays, we have physical therapy, and we need to use that services because that's going to help defray the expenses that we have to take out. We have to maintain a lab whether it's used or not used. And we really love anybody that goes to see a doctor, even if they have to go see a doctor in Dixon or in Nashville. If the doctor says you need an x-ray on your foot, have them write a prescription and come to our hospital and do your x-ray here. And we can do that here, and that's going to contribute to the hospital. It's not going to cost you anything more, and it's going to be much more convenient for you to use our hospital to get Dopplers or mammograms and blood work and so forth. So the biggest obstacle we have had to overcome is the perception by the people in the county. And we really appreciate, and it's going to, you people are going to make the hospital work far more than the trustees or this commission. It's the people of the county that have got to put their faith in that hospital and use it. Now, if you have a complaint about the hospital, hey, you come talk to me or call one of the commissioners and state your complaint, and we'll take care of it. We'll get it fixed if it's a problem. So we need you people to have faith in the hospital and to use the hospital. Okay?
I agree with you 100%, but I have to respectfully disagree that if you go to Dixon and they tell you need an x-ray, I don't think, now I'm correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's a person in this room that's going to come all the way back to here to get an x-ray. I think our focus is for our business, because that's what you said it is. It is a business. It's not our hospital. This is now our business. Our business is we have to start getting, like Stewart County, to start bringing their patients over here instead of to Parrish or Murray or Clarksville. We have to utilize, like I said a while ago, our ER. Our ER has been done other places. It can make money. I've heard people say, well, they don't pay their bills. Well, the people that don't pay those bills are not going to pay the other bills either. It doesn't matter. There's things that we have to do. And we have a consulting group, correct, for this hospital or a firm that runs it? We have a healthcare attorney. Okay.
And let me comment on that, because you seem to have a problem with the healthcare attorney. We would not have ever been able to have done some of the things that we've done because this gentleman specializes in healthcare. He's not a fly-by-night. He's not a regular attorney out here. This guy's with one of the larger law firms in Nashville, and that's what he specializes in, is healthcare. And without his assistance, we would have never got through getting a Medicare number. We're working with 10 care. There are lots of complicated things in a hospital, more than I ever dreamed of a year and a half ago. But this gentleman is well worth his money. Every penny that we paid him, we would not be anywhere close to having a hospital without him.
Well, did he or did y'all feel it was a better option for y'all to go that route instead of saying Signature, who was willing to make an investment?
We don't want to get into Signature. I am tickled to death that we have Signature Healthcare here in Houston County. They do a fabulous job of taking care of a nursing home facility, and we're tickled to death. But without that hospital, I promise you, it would affect Signature Healthcare. It would affect their services up there. So, when we worked with Signature for a long period of time. We never could get an agreement with Signature in regards to that. And I can't go into all the details with you. Be glad to sit and talk to you in our office with you. But tonight, you're talking about a complicated arrangement there. But there was a group of commissioners that met with Signature people to try and work something out. We could never work it out. Anyone else? Yes.
I would be my phone. My name is Suzette Whitaker. I'm a lifelong resident of this county. I'm a business owner in this county. I have many friends maybe some enemies. You know me, I don't care. I want our county to do everything we can to keep this hospital. I look around and I see the city of Erin itself dying, and that bothers me. I raised 2 children here. One still works here. The college educated one has to travel to make his living. I don't like that. I don't like to see businesses closing. I can speak personally of starting a new business. We've had one for a year and a half. It's a struggle. In this little town, in this little county, you are not going to make a profit. If you don't have some reserve funds to fall back on, you're going down the drain. That's just the facts. I hate to say it. I talked with Archie Brooks a few years ago, and we talked about the businesses closing. And we stood out on the sidewalk in front of his business, and he named 5 different grocery stores that he used to put a block to from his present business. And now, you can't buy a quart of milk right in the city of Erin. I don't want to see this looking like Van Lear or Cumberland City in a few years. If we lose this hospital, we're losing jobs. We are saying to our young people, if you're going to be a nurse, if you're going to be a doctor, if you're going into the healthcare field, you're not going to find a job here. Also, a point that Mr. Jerem made that I can agree with. Just in the past few months, I had a personal experience in my family. You cannot blame the doctors in the clinic for the problems in the hospital. They are 2 separate areas. And if you don't realize that, you need to realize it now. One is not responsible for the other. I think we need to do whatever we have to do to keep this hospital. And yes, it needs fine-tuning, a lot of fine-tuning. I don't have those answers. I'm not in the medical field. I don't pretend to have those answers. But I think we do have enough educated, intelligent people in this county, in this community. If you will put your heads together, we can pull this together. Several years ago, we had people coming from Clarksville, Stewart County, and surrounding areas to seek medical care here. And I think we could return to that. It's not going to happen overnight. But if we all work together and we go for the good stuff, the gold, that's what we need in this county. And I am encouraging everybody. I don't want a tax rate increase either. I have a new business. I don't want to pay it, but I'll do what I have to save lives. My brother-in-law right here had a heart attack, and his life was saved by the ER here. I could go on countless family members and name it, but all of you have experienced it. If you'll think back about it. If we don't encourage this hospital to move forward, we're making a mistake that we will never recover from. Thank you.
Anyone else? Sheriff? Yeah, Larry. Oh, give him the microphone. He can't speak as loud as Suzette. Suzette's going to get loud.
My name is Larry Barker. Lived here all my life. Raised in school. And I made several trips to Trinity Hospital when it was called that. Bishop's Hospital. Now, Houston County. There's nobody in this room that likes to pay taxes. There's lots of people in this county that live on fixed incomes. But if we could just take the bricks and the mortar away for a moment and realize that we have specialized people up there trained right here to save lives. Saving lives is what it's about. I am a living example. 2005, in the summer, I had a heart attack. They told me in the emergency room that my body had already turned gray. I was well on my way to die. But thanks to this hospital, my life was spared for the grace of God with His help too. And that's why I'm here today. Taking care of sick people is expensive. I know. I have a hard time paying my bills. There's nobody in here that don't have a hard time paying their bills. What we must do for our children and our elderly, have a mother in the nursing home, to do our very best as brothers and sisters in Houston County to take care of our people. No, I don't like taxes, but I too will do what I have to do to pay it. I'd have to come to you, GE, and borrow some money. But I'll pay it. Thank you.
Anyone else? We've got about 5 more minutes. Anyone else? Yes.
Let me say this. It would really be helpful if you folks would call, write, telegram, whatever you want to do, to Governor Haslam and to Mark Green, and to tell them we need the federal money that's going to 33 other states for health care, but not coming to our state. It's millions of dollars that that hospital could be getting. All they have to do is say yes. But they're not saying yes, and they think that their pride is in defeat of the Obamacare. Now, I wasn't in favor of Obamacare, but the pride of them getting defeated in Obamacare, now they want to make us pay for their indiscretions and just their bullheadedness. If you people would call Mark Green's office and you call Haslam's office and say, look, we need that money. We need that Obamacare money. It's millions of dollars. It would make this hospital actually be in the black. So, you know, and I'm glad to see our Representative Tidwell here, and he is on the side of the hospital, believe me, in getting us money. But Mark Green and Haslam have just said no to us. Every turn, it's no, no, no. So if you call them, any way you can contact them and give them the message. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other comments? Okay. We'll put that on the record. Okay. Anyone else?
I would gladly contact Haslam.
I'm hoping, I think the legislature will look at it a little bit more closely this year. I really believe the governor would like to do it. I think there's some things there that has prevented him from doing it. And on defense of Senator Green today, we had a good meeting with Senator Green today. John Tidwell and I did in regards to TennCare, and he was very helpful there. So, but we do need what George is talking about, that hopefully the state will take this money, because it will not only help this hospital, it will help all the hospitals across the state of Tennessee that are providing care for low-income people. Anything else in regards to this meeting? We're getting close to the time for us to recess and go into our regular meeting.
I'll just share a little story that happened today, which made me feel proud of having a hospital in Houston County. I was coming back from lunch and just had passed Jamie's Zell's farm there and got down to his storage, and I was following this little car. And I'm not going to call her names. A little elderly lady in this car that she actually passed out, blacked out, or whatever you want to call it. She just veered off to the left, crossed over in the oncoming lane, and went right off of the road. And luckily she did stop. The time I made a U-turn and got back to her, she kind of took off again, but she was still blacked out or whatever. She didn't have a clue of where she was at. But anyway, I finally got her stopped, got her car in the park, and I made a phone call for the ambulance service to come and get her, because actually I didn't know what was going on with her. She didn't have a clue, but I was glad to know that Houston County had a hospital within 5 minutes from where she was at, because if Houston believe me, when I get home, I will call her nephew and find out exactly how she was doing. But I mean, that's how, to me, important the hospital in Houston County is. And I work with a lot of people out of Security County that would love to have that facility sitting in their county. So I mean, I feel like it's a necessity. It's something that Houston County needs to hang on to from here on out. And I'm like anybody else. I don't like to pay no more taxes, but I do have a mother and father that's on up in age, and I've got relatives, and I'm tickled to death that this hospital's here, and I'll do whatever it takes to keep it here.
Steve?
I'd like to say something. Recognize Barry Cotton because he was in on it to begin with. He did his best to try to help us. It didn't work out, but he did his best. I appreciate it. But I think everybody needs to know. Some people watch it on TV and think that we're just yes, yes, yes. They should have come to the budget meetings. A lot of late nights, and it was not pretty. I'm gonna tell you. Many late nights we argued and stomped and hollered and snotted and everything else. So everybody needs to know that the budget meetings was where it's ugly. Here you don't see much of it at the meetings, but the budget meetings, it was rough. So, but we bought the hospital and we've got to give it a chance. That's my 2 cents. But everybody needs to know we all had our own words to say at the budget meetings, and it wasn't hunky-dory. I can tell everybody that.
With that said, this public hearing is now over, and we're going to start our regular legislative body meeting. I've got a few things to pass out.
Dear WCBN, Charles Williams, sponsored by Hogwarts, Tennessee Reed, Signature Healthcare Revering, Houston County Drug Alliance, and Traditional First Bank. Public hearing was just held, and they're getting ready to vote on the budget.
Before we get started, Representative John Tidwell is here, and I think he has something for each of the commissioners. And so, John, would you come forward?
Yep, Santa Claus will come to here. I want to make sure that each and every Ohio elected official has a recipe for how state government works. To show you how much, and everybody in the audience, that we are on top of things, I'm going to hand out this blue book. Well, now, what does that book say on the front of it?
We need to roll call them.
It says Blue Book. I want all of you to know that if the Tennessee General Assembly says this is a blue book, it's a blue book. I've got one for each of y'all. I won't make a running out like I did at Tennessee Ridge the other day for the government box. Also, while I'm handing it out, I'll tell you that I've got the report over there on the Tennessee River Resort Act where Houston County got $79,000 this year, and that's the last I reported. $80,000 last year directly into your coffers. And I wrote that to you.
Thank you, John. That is a really good bill for this county, the Tennessee River Resort Act.
I also want to tell you that the state of Tennessee is working on Highway 321. They're resurfacing it out of McEwen. And got more. And they're resurfacing 13 on the Humphreys County side. They've already done the Houston County side.
Yeah, 231.
And it's rare the county side of Houston is that much.
John, they've also just got through doing Highway 46, and they're doing a safety project on Highway 49 going towards Dixon.
By the way, it takes somewhere around 8 years or 7 or 8 years to get road work done and started. I remember coming up and meeting with George the year that somebody got killed on this little road right over here, and he pointed out how narrow it was, and I went back up there like I went off the road myself. So that basically started the
wheels moving. But I want to thank you for being able to, and thank you for having any trouble reading this directional book.
Thank you, John. That's our new highway superintendent, John. Yeah, give him one. Let him read that big thick book. Yeah.
I would not be a good politician if I didn't own one of these. I got one. Give you one.
John, is that why your signs are blue out on the highway?
Very good.
Thank you, John. All right, roll call. Okay, roll call vote. Roll call.
William Major.
Here.
George Yerham.
Here.
Randall French.
Here.
Steve Hall.
Here.
Ray Elliott.
Here.
Martha Greenfield.
Here.
Darrell Kingsville.
Here.
Howard Spurgeon.
Here.
Leslie Lewis.
Here.
Chris Self. Joey Brake. James Pazell.
Here.
Brant Lamastus.
Here.
Larry Sykes.
Here.
14 members present.
We do have a quorum. You have a copy of your agenda for tonight.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion is made to approve and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion does carry. You also have a copy of the minutes from the September the 15th meeting. I think we have started emailing those to you. I hope that's working for you. The ones that don't have email, we mail them. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes. Motion is made. Is there a second? And second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion does carry. We do not have anything under old business. Under new business, I'd like to appoint Kevin Suggs, our new sheriff, to the E911 board. Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have a Sheriff's Department Highway Safety Grant. This is a grant for $32,485.21. I'd like a motion to approve this safety grant. What's that? Well, the sheriff does it. I think you have some police officers and some other stuff that they do, but then it's basically for safety.
Joey just made a motion.
Motion is made and seconded. Any other discussion on it?
First time we've had that grant.
No, we've got it several years. It's not a new. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have a resolution establishing regulations and requirements for the ambulance service. I think you have a copy of that. Our ambulance committee, who's chairman? George, what's the recommendation?
We strongly recommend that we do this. It's going to give us an advantage for our EMS people so that we can't have a cherry-picking ambulance companies coming into our county, taking off the cream and leaving us in the chafe. So this is going to be a good thing.
Most counties around have a similar agreement too, don't they? So you make that in the form of a motion, George?
Yes.
All right. And is there a second? And second. Any discussion on this? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion does carry. Next, you have your budget approval for 2014 and 15. Chairman of the Budget Committee, is that a recommendation that we approve the budget for 2014 and 15?
The Budget Committee recommends that we approve this budget.
Motion is made. Is there?
No, he hadn't made a motion.
Did you make that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second? And second. Any discussion? If not, roll call vote.
William Major.
Yes.
George Yerham.
Yes.
Randall French.
Yes.
Steve Hall.
Yes.
Ray Elliott.
Yes.
Martha Greenfield.
Yes.
Darrell Kingsville.
No.
Howard Spurgeon.
Yes.
Leslie Lewis.
Yes.
Chris Self.
Yes.
Joey Brake. I'm sorry, Joey.
No.
James Pazell.
Yes.
Brant Lamastus.
Yes.
Larry Sykes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Next, you have under your budget, you have a resolution making the appropriations for the various funds that's in your budget. I'd like a motion to approve this resolution. Motion is made. Is there a second? And seconded. Any discussion? If not, roll call vote on this.
I'm sorry.
Was this Mr. French's motion?
Lewis,
Lewis,
you
okay.
seconded it.
I knew it was right in that neighborhood, but who was your second?
Who seconded it?
Okay.
Right.
Comes quick sometimes. William Agee.
Yeah.
George Yearam.
Yes.
Randall French. Steve Hall.
Yes.
Ray Elliott.
Yes.
Martha Greenfield.
Yes.
Darrell Kingsman. Howard Spurgeon.
Yes.
Leslie Lewis.
Yes.
Chris Self.
Yes.
Joey Brake. James Bazell.
Yes.
Brent Lemastus.
Yes.
Larry Sykes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Next, we have a resolution fixing the tax rate for Houston County at $3.19. I'd like a motion to approve the tax rate resolution.
So moved.
Motion is made. Is there and seconded? Roll call vote.
William Agee.
Yes.
George Yearam.
Yes.
Randall French.
Yes.
Steve Hall.
Yes.
Ray Elliott.
Yes.
Martha Greenfield.
Yes.
Darrell Kingsville. Howard Spurgeon.
Yes.
Leslie Lewis.
Yes.
Chris Self.
Yes.
Joey Brake. James Bazell.
Yes.
Brent Lemastus.
Yes.
Larry Sykes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Next, we have a resolution appropriating the school funds. It's in the very back of your budget. I'd like a motion to approve this. Motion is made. Is there and seconded? Any discussion? If not, roll call vote.
William Agee.
Yes.
George Yearam.
Yes.
Randall French.
Yes.
Steve Hall.
Yes.
Ray Elliott.
Yes.
Martha Greenfield.
Yes.
Darrell Kingsville. I'm sorry, Darrell. Howard Spurgeon.
Yes.
Leslie Lewis.
Yes.
Chris Self.
Yes.
Joey Brake. James Bazell.
Yes.
Brent Lemastus.
Yes.
Larry Sykes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Next, you have your budget amendments and transfers under the general fund. You have two of them. One of them is the grant money for the $32,000, adding it to our budget, and the other one is the $1,000 that we're putting back into the Veteran Service Office for computer. So they-
To approve both transfers.
Second.
Motion is made to approve both budget amendments and seconded. Any discussion?
The computer we're purchasing is so that we can streamline veteran applications.
That's exactly right, so we can help a lot of the veterans here in the county. Any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
William Agee. George Yearam.
Yes.
Randall French.
Yes.
Steve Hall.
Yes.
Ray Elliott.
Yes.
Martha Greenfield.
Yes.
Darrell Kingsville. Howard Spurgeon.
Yes.
Leslie Lewis.
Yes.
Chris Self.
Yes.
Joey Brake. James Bazell.
Yes.
Brent Lemastus.
Yes.
Larry Sykes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. I'd like a motion to adjourn. Motion is made and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here tonight.